although most of the TV shows and movies I make videos on are like teen dramas and teen rom-com and that type of stuff, you know, I do like to branch out and try new stuff every now and then. Like in the past, I've done almost every DC CW show, for example. Now, just so we're all clear on this, like I'm not really a big comic book guy. Like I enjoy superhero movies and shows for what they are, but like I'm not super invested in like that aspect of it. I mean, if you are, I respect that. I'm just saying that, like, for example, with Umbrella Academy, I'm coming to it just based on the show itself. Like I assume most people are, you know what I mean? And I'll be honest here, whatever I expected, I was not prepared for what I got. Let's take a walk. So Umbrella Academy starts out with a little backstory that on October 1st, 1989, a bunch of girls around the world suddenly gave birth even though they weren't pregnant when they woke up that day.
On the 12th hour of the first day of October 1989, 43 women around the world gave birth. This was unusual only in the fact that none of these women had been pregnant when the day first began.
Now, I can see how this might be a little concerning, but I mean, basically the same thing happens to me every time I go to Chipotle, but that's a different conversation. Now, after news gets around about whatever just happened, eccentric billionaire Reginald Hargreaves, aka the guy from the Monopoly box, goes around and buys as many of these kids as he can, and ultimately, he gets 7 of them. And these 7 people make up the main characters of the show. We have Diego, who can throw knives, Allison, who's basically a human Death Note, Klaus, the grown-up version of the kid from Sixth Sense, Ben, who at the current time of the show is dead, Luther, who retains water, I guess, Number 5, yep, that's his name, more on that in a second, who can teleport, and also he's been missing for like 16 years or whatever. And finally, we have Vanya, who's not special at all. Allegedly, you know what I'm saying? So this billionaire guy took these 7 kids and made a superhero group called the Umbrella Academy. And you know, they just kind of went around fighting crime and beating up bad dudes and, you know, superhero stuff.
This is real men throw knives. Get back, you freaks!
Hey, be careful up there, buddy.
Get back
Yeah,
now!
wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Or what?
But here's the thing, the show takes place long after this. All the kids have grown up, they've left home, living their lives doing, you know, whatever you do when you have superpowers. And that's when they, and we, learn that their adopted father, the Reginald guy from before, has died.
Dad.
This, of course, brings them all back to the house they grew up in and left so many years ago, and we start to learn that thanks to a combination of their dad being some kind of like weird dude who never actually gave them names and just gave them numbers, like Number 5, and then of course, you know, being forced to play superheroes from a young age and having superpowers to begin with, like all that stuff put together means now, as adults, they don't really like each other all that much. And thanks to recent events, now this is the first time they've really seen each other in like a bajillion years.
What is she doing here? You don't belong here, not after what you did.
You're seriously gonna do this today? Way to dress for the occasion, by the way.
At least I'm wearing black.
Anyway, so here's where the story actually kind of starts to get going. So we're taken through the house, getting various flashbacks of everything I just told you. And we also meet their mom, who I guess is like a robot or something, and the butler Pogo, who is a talking chimpanzee.
Welcome home, Miss Vanya.
Pogo.
Yeah, like I said, I was not prepared for most of this show. I mean, going into it, I thought, you know, this is gonna be a show about superheroes and superpowers doing superhero stuff. It's just wham bam bibbidi bow, you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize the roller coaster was just gonna keep on going. Anyway, so Luther over here, he's a little suspicious of their dad's passing for one very specific reason.
Were you the first one on the scene?
Pogo found him.
No, I talked to Pogo. He said he couldn't find Dad's monocle.
And your point being?
Well, can you think of a single time that you saw Dad and he wasn't wearing that monocle? No. Which means someone took it. Which means there's a chance that he wasn't alone when he died.
You know, I feel like everything you need to know about their dad is explained in this one sentence right here, like a billionaire with a monocle. I mean, that tells you more about his character than like any flashback ever could. Now, flashing forward, or I don't know, in some direction, I guess. Something else we learn is that Vanya, the one who allegedly doesn't have any superpowers, yeah, I don't believe that for 1 second. Anyway, she wrote an autobiography about growing up in the Umbrella Academy as the one person who isn't special. And of course, you know, she spilled all the tea, whatever that means. And so now everyone kind of hates her to varying degrees.
Don't waste your time. Diego's right, I shouldn't have come.
This is your home, and always will be. I hope you know, your father loved you very much. in his own way.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the problem, isn't it?
Anyway, so in the middle of all this, naturally, we get a dance break. Just, because of course, why wouldn't you? But then suddenly, they get interrupted by, that's right, kids, a space-time vortex!
What is it? Looks like some sort of temporal anomaly. Either that or a miniature black hole, one of the two.
I love how nonchalant they are about this whole thing, like they just drove over a pothole or something. A space-time vortex, that's the third one this week, I'll tell you what. Anyway, so out of this vortex thing drops number 5, the one who's been missing for 16 years or like whatever. And for some reason, he still looks 13.
So, are we gonna talk about what just happened? It's been 17 years.
It's been a lot longer than that.
Where'd you go?
The future. The end, I had to project my consciousness forward into a suspended quantum state version of myself that exists across every possible instance of time.
Yeah, so it turns out number 5 transported himself into the future and for whatever reason was stuck there for like 45 years. And what's the first thing he does when he gets back? The guy makes a fluffernutter sandwich. Now, this seemed kind of weird to me at the time, but thinking about it now, I realized like if I went back to my 13-year-old self, I'd probably do the same thing. Just fluffernutters and Sour Patch Kids watching Toonami after school. Well, now I'm sad. Anyway, after this, number 5 goes out because he really wants a good cup of coffee. Now, while he's drinking his little cup of joe over here, a bunch of mercenary-looking dudes show up, and things start getting a little dicey.
That was fast. Thought I'd have more time before they found me.
Okay. So let's all be professional about this, yeah? On your feet and come with us. They want to talk.
I've got nothing to say.
Then we get this cool little fight scene where number 5 beats them all up set to the song Istanbul from They Might Be Giants. Speaking of being 13 again, when I heard a They Might Be Giants song in this show, let me tell you, it's like I was back in 8th grade, just downloading all kinds of who knows what from Kazaa. And everything was like totally not a virus.exe, and you're like, well, this looks legit. Now, for obvious reasons, I can't really show much of this part, but here's a little reenactment of basically how it goes.
Ready, go!
Anyway, once that's all over, we flash sideways to Diego and Klaus, who were going somewhere to do something, I guess. And that's when we get the big reveal.
Do you ever remember a single time that Dad wasn't wearing his monocle?
Oh. And right at the end, number 5 goes to visit Vanya, and things take a pretty drastic shift, just kind of like out of nowhere.
When I jumped forward and got stuck in the future, do you know what I found? Nothing. I never figured out what killed the human race. I did find something else. The date it happens. The world ends in 8 days. And I have no idea how to stop it.
When I said what's up, I was just saying hi. But anyway, this of course sets up the rest of the show. Coming into the show without having read the comic or even knowing it was a comic book, it's just like a whole bunch of stuff gets thrown at you all at once. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad show, and I'll definitely keep watching, but even if you like the show or you've read the comic or whatever, you gotta admit, it's pretty weird. You got time-traveling kids, you got talking monkeys, you got robot moms. There's a whole lot of everything going on here. And as someone who's watched way too many shows and movies, I'll tell you, I have never seen a show quite like this before. So, if you're interested, give it a shot. It's on Netflix right now. Just see how it works for you.
Well, this looks like the place. And inside lies the valuable MacGuffin's diamond.
But I read that its real worth is just to motivate heroes into pointless action.
And where did you read that?
Here on my Scribe phone.
Scribe what?
Scribe phone, see? It has all the latest info pulled from the Ethernet, and it can even find you the easiest path to any destination.
Well, it looks like a useless piece of junk to me.
It's not useless. It can even predict the weather.
Oh, please. Nothing can accurately predict the weather.
Circe, what's the weather gonna be like today?
You will experience rain in approximately 6 seconds.
How in the...
fine, I'll grant you that, but what are you gonna do when that thing stops working?
Then we'll just go out and buy another one.
Route has been updated.
Oh, cool. This is a much nicer way.
Yes! Easy money.
Toodles, strudels.
All right, fine, then go! But me and the dog are gonna do this properly and prove to ourselves that we've got what it takes. Right, dog? Stupid dog.
Approaching your destination. Gee, I wish Lizard Wizard could have joined us. Why is he always gotta do things the hard way, man?
I know, right?
Get off! At last! Willow? Newt? Rufus? How did you get here?
Smile!
Fine. Forget it. I'ma take this.
No signal found.
It's not working. Why isn't it working?
Well, then maybe you should just go buy another one.
Okay, you were right. What do we do, Lizard Wizard?
Follow me. This way. Trace my steps. Well, I guess that's one way to stop a giant rolling skull. On the downside, though, we're trapped here in the dark.
Wait, I think I can help with that.
Uh-oh.
Wow, it comes with a light? That's actually pretty useful.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that bell so you don't miss any videos from me. Please consider becoming a paid member. Really helps me out, and you get to pick what videos come out. Follow my dog Charlie on Instagram, Charlie Meets Pumpkin. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know what was your favorite part of the video, or just say hi, or I don't know, whatever. And above all else, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.